What's up, Crusaders? Welcome back to another episode of Arcade Crusade. In today's episode, we are going to finish cleaning up the Whirlwind. We're going to get our Cliffy on, our decals on, target decals, and we're just going to completely clean up the rest of this game, put our LEDs in, tighten up the flippers, make sure our flipper gap is good. We're going to do all of our fine adjustments, and then this thing it'll be ready to go. You know, we'll put a few games on it, and then I'm probably going to end up selling it. So I got it set up right here. Let me get the camera set up and we will start working on it. All right, guys, so where we're going to start for this episode is we are just going to go through and start putting our LEDs in. I went ahead and I changed all of the wedge twist LEDs on the lamp boards. They're super easy to change. Basically, all you do is just come to one of these, twist it off, put your LED in, twist it back on. So I did all of those. The only ones I haven't done are all the bayonet bases under the playfield. And then I got all of the GI from above when I had the playfield torn down, so our GI is done too. So all we have left are the bayonet insert lamps and maybe a few here and there. And then I already did the back box too because it's the same wedge style as these. You just pop bulbs out, push new ones in. This back box doesn't even have any flashers. It's just straight up lights. So those are all done, so now we can just go through and we'll quickly put the rest of the LEDs in and we'll see how we're looking. Alright guys, so I'm in our all lamps test and I'm just looking to see if we missed any of our LEDs here. But it looks like everything's working well. Look at our back box, let it focus. Everything in our back box is working well. We'll take a look at all of our inserts. Inserts in our GI, but all of these have now been converted. You can see our San Francisco is now working, so our diode fix on the lamp board worked. These are all nice and super bright now. All of these were the bayonets, and all of these are working. This is a big light board under here, that's working. Our spot lamp by Red is working, and this will be Ted's once we put the wire form back on and back together. All of our controlled lights, everything's working. The start button, the coin door, and the extra ball button are all working. So we have all 2 SMD Comet Sunlight LEDs in here. So I went with clear for the inserts like I always do, and frosted for the GI. So now all of our LEDs are good. We're completely clean waxed. New rubbers everywhere. I even replaced a couple star posts on some really beat up areas. So now we have to put in this Cliffy at the Start City event, and I got it right here. I already started peeling the corner back, but all Cliffies will have a kind of a cellophane over the shiny side that will go visible on the playfield. So you have to peel that off before you apply it. So I'm gonna peel this off and then I'll get the camera set up and we can get our Cliffy on. Once we get our Cliffy on, we can put all of our target decals on and put our wire forms back together, drop new balls in it, and we will be good. Just cycled out of the test and went into the game because we left the all lamps test running too long. So now you can see it in a tract. But it looks really good. I don't see any ghosting going on, so we're in great shape here. So I'll get this Cliffy ready and we will put it on. Oh yeah, I didn't show you these. Let me turn my light on. These are the custom instruction cards. I found this one online, and then I made this one just with this and the Roadshow logo. So yeah, I'll get this Cliffy ready and we'll go from there. All right, guys, let me go ahead and turn the game off. So this Cliffy, this is really like the only Cliffy you can get for Roadshow. I don't know if he makes a protector for the blast area, but what we're going to be putting on is for the Start City. And to get to this, it has to be installed under these two posts here. So there's a screw above the sign here. And another on the other side. So we'll get these screws out. There we go. That's completely out. So then this can get out of our way once we get this plastic off. So I'm just gonna make my life a little bit easier, and this plastic comes off just with this nut here. Take this off. And that will make everything a lot easier just to kind of work with. We can bend that out of the way, and then what we need to do is we need to lift the playfield and get these posts out from under the playfield. And once we get the post loosened, our Cliffy can then clip on, and then the posts go on top of it. Because you'll see the way that these holes are, your posts have to go through it. So we gotta lift the playfield and take those posts off. So let me lift the playfield and show you guys where those nuts are at. All right, so I got the playfield lifted right now, and we're gonna be looking at these two nuts right here that go through the bottom of the playfield. These are for these posts, and you just kind of want to hold the post from above the playfield and slowly loosen it. And I'm kind of at the end here, so I'm going to see if I can sneak this nut off. Same with the washer, and you might have to try to push these out of the playfield. They usually don't come out that nicely because they've been stuck there for years, essentially. Let me grab this flathead over here. This actually has a magnet on it. There we go. Okay, so that's one of them, and then the one next to it. Again, I'm just reaching to the other side of the playfield to make sure it doesn't spin. Should be good. This has a magnet on the end of it just to make my life easier. All right, and we got the other washer off. So now what we'll do, we'll see if we can push these through because we need them out. All right, I'm gonna look at it from above, maybe see if we can spin these out a little bit, because they've been sitting in there for a while. Worst comes to worst, we'll just hit them out from underneath the playfield. So basically, all you have to do next, it's gonna be kind of awkward to film this, so I'm just gonna do it off camera, but get both of those posts out. And once I get those out, we'll come back, we'll put the Cliffy on, put the post back through, and we'll go from there. So I'm just gonna get both those posts out, and then we'll put our Cliffy on. Guys, so I got both of our posts out of the playfield. So now we can just go ahead and put our Cliffy on, and the way this goes on, it has a little clip in the front of it. So it's just gonna kind of rock in here, and it's going to clip to the bottom of the play field. Might have to work around these targets here. And that clip, sometimes you got to bend it a little bit. Here we go. See if we can get around this. We might have to loosen our scoop. It's there we go. There's enough play there to just bend the scoop to the side. So just make sure when you put this on, if you got to loosen your scoop, go ahead and do it. I was able to sneak it in there. And just make sure you're flat all the way around, because any possible lip on this and it will catch in the play field. And once you get it lined up, you know, these can essentially just go back in the same spot that they were. We got one of our signs lined up. The other side is not perfect. So we'll see if we can get it pushed over a little bit. And then the other side, we're just going to push through. And I have a hammer handy, which will help with this. Just very, very lightly tap this. There we go. It's going through the Cliffy, through the Cliffy. Yeah, and these don't need super hard hits, but now look at the protection we've got here, and just kind of make sure your clip inside of there is bent up. Make sure your lip is good all the way around, and look at that. We hammered those posts in, and it's looking a lot better. And I have our brand new post sleeves here. I actually took them off, so these can go back on. And now all we're gonna do, the same way we took off those nuts from underneath the play field, I'm gonna put them back on. But now you can see we have and I'll kind of lift up the camera, we have a protected area. All of that, it wasn't tight, all of that wood that was worn out there is no longer worn out. So this just helps protect the game, and it makes it look a lot better. So we got our Cliffy on. Now I can just tighten up those posts underneath, and we'll put this back together. So I'll tighten those posts up and then put this back together. All right, guys, so we got our posts through and tightened with the washer and nut under the play field. Now our clear plastic is gonna go back on. It's a 1 5/16 nut up here, and we're just gonna get that started. We won't tighten it all the way down. All right, that's started. And now we will go ahead and put our Start City screws in. And the Start City sign, it goes on top and behind the scoop with the wire, but it goes on top the plastic like this. And the first screw can't even tell if I'm like lined up here or if it's just acting weird on me. Yeah, it's in. All right, and then we'll put the second screw in. All right, so that is tight, and we'll come back to this side. That's tight. Signs are looking good. I cleaned all those up. So now that those are tight, we will just come in here, tighten that plastic up, and we are good to go. So that's how you install the Cliffy. I mean, this goes for a lot of games. Whirlwinds like this. Any Cliffy that has two posts next to it on the scoop, Adam's Family, posts come out, Cliffy goes in, posts go back in. Pretty easy, but it looks a lot better than it did before. So now that is done, I'm gonna wash my hands just so I don't get all of these target decals dirty, and we're gonna put all these target decals on, and then our wire forms can go back on. I had to buy a tilt bob for this game, so we'll put that in, and then we're pretty much wrapped up. So I'll get the target decals ready and we will go from there. All right, guys, so I got the decals out. I got these off of a guy on Pinside. These are decals for, and they're color matched to all of your targets in this game. So these are decals for every single target in this game, along with one that goes over the shooter wire on the right side there, and then the 3 that go onto Ted's bulldozer. So I'm just gonna go through, we'll time lapse this, and I'm gonna put all these decals on. All right, guys, so we got all of our target decals on. These were sold by a guy, I think his name is Flash Instinct, on Pinside, and you can see their little street signs. So this one, the orange one says merge right, yellow says detour to blast zone. This one says low overhead wire form. We have our caution tape at Ted. It's a couple cones at red, music targets next to Start City, and then the blast zone. It's got a blast and some cones flying around. And then it came with one to go on top of there, which I really like. I wish more decal sets came with that, because I think it really just, like, you know, it matches the rest of the machine. It looks really good. And then it also came with some extras, so if these ever fall off, you can put some extras on. But now we have all of our target decals on, and now I can just put all these wire forms back together. So I'm going to clean up. I got a couple wire forms over there. I still need to clean up this one. Clean these up, and all of this can go back together, and we can drop our new balls in and play our first game. So I'll get the wire forms ready. We'll quickly put those on, and we'll be ready to go. So we got the 3 wire forms back together. They just go on with a few screws each. So you're gonna have 1/4-inch machine screws at where they connect to the yellow ramps in the back. And you got a couple nuts up here. And then these 2 get connected with a machine screw and a nylon lock nut. So now that that's done, I went ahead and I put our tilt bob in. It just slides on with a wing nut. It's not even worth showing. And then the last thing we have to do is put our new balls in. So when you get new balls, there's always a little bit of oil on them from the factory. So what you want to do is just wipe the new ball in a nice microfiber. You can use the same microfiber you wax with, because wax on the balls isn't going to hurt anything. But you just want to wipe these down one by one and then drop them in. And once we do this, all we have to do is slide the glass and the back glass on, and we're done with this thing for the most part. I really can't think of anything we haven't done. All the flashers, I replaced all the flashers with new incandescent flashers. I never put LED flashers in my games because of the cost, and frankly, they're just blinding. The second they go off, you literally will blink from how blind they are. So I put incandescent flashers back in my games. I wish they made cool white incandescent flashers, because all of the incandescent flashers are warm white. So there's always a little bit of a color change when they go off. But all new 906s in the back there. And then a couple 89s under the play field, and then everywhere you see a flasher dome has 906 in it. Like I said, I cleaned Red and Ted a lot. I cleaned up his bulldozer the best I could without replacing it. If the next owner wants to replace it, they can go ahead and do so. But I left them some extra Target decals that came with it. Just got one more ball left, and yeah. Instruction cards look good. Wire forms cleaned up. I mean, this game cleaned up. It looks brand new. Now that we have the Cliffy, the only spot of wear on this game was on the start city. And now that we have the Cliffy in there, you can't even tell. That was literally the only spot on the game that you could see anywhere. But all right, so we have all of our balls in now. Let me go ahead. It's going to play a little slow right now. I don't have it at the right pitch. Maybe I'll get it up a little bit, but for demonstration purposes, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to get the back glass on, and then we'll fire it up and see how it's flipping. All right, guys. So I got the glass on, and I got the back glass on with our sunlights. See if we can get it to focus so it's not so bright there. This thing looks great. It cleaned up super nice. I mean, there's a few, dings on the legs and things like that, but, aside from that, this thing cleaned up super nice. So, it's I already played a game on it just to see how it was playing. Oh, it's cool. I didn't notice it has an ad for Jackpot in it. It's kind of leaning a little bit, and it's playing a little slow, but for a demonstration game, it'll get the job done. So, see if we can get the skill shot. Nope, bounced out on us. Will give us a ball save. There we go. There's the ramp. See if we can chain the ramps. There we go. Spinner's maxed, and it'll start our city. We're in Miami, which is way better than starting New York. See if we can hit that. Nope. Hit red with it. The blast zone. Oh, to the out lane. That's upsetting. Bam, bam. All right. Come on, kick the ball out. 75 miles. This thing is this thing is playing crazy fast, you know? It's, should probably turn down the volume a little bit, but I don't think I turned minimum volume override off, so it's fine. Ooh, whiffed. Come on, go around. That's what I'm talking about. There we go. Ridge out.
Spin the wheel.
There we go. Start city, trapped in Ohio. Shoot ramps to escape. Ooh, nice shot into this. The shaker's working well. Bad weather. Oh man. Get to the bunker.
Fire in the hole. Boom. Ooh, no.
Flying rocks. All right, so now we go into, oh, I didn't want that. I wanted one more for the extra ball. It's like crazy steps in Funhouse. So you got another shooter rod on the side of the cab. All right, extra balls lit.
Let's get out of here. Fire in the hole. It's a dud. We're rolling down.
Ooh. All right, I gotta get this extra ball. Can't leave it on the table.
Don't stop now. Come on, y'all.
We'll start another quick one. See if we can get some decent shots in. There we go. Miami.
Hey, look, there's a beach party. Jerk alert. Fire in the hole.
There we go. I'll take the blast value and out the outlane.
Oh,
There we go. Ball saved.
Thursday. Friday. Time.
Where's my paycheck?
Where's my paycheck? Aw. I just want to try to get into multi-ball if I can. All right, give me some baggy shorts. There we go. One timer into the lock shot. There's our first ball.
Let's party! Put on your dancing shoes,
There's the second lock shot. All right, so now we got to Ted's bulldozer mouth is gonna lit. Hold up, let me turn my light on. I didn't even have it on. The bulldozer's gonna lift up. There we go, into his mouth. He swallows the ball. And we gotta try to shoot. We gotta try to shoot red here if we can. First jackpot is Ted's mouth, second jackpot is Red's mouth, and we're gonna lose all three of them. Two of them went down the out lanes and the other one went right down the middle. No, we won't continue. That's funny. All right, let me take this off the tripod here. But it's playing well, shaker motor's working. Cabinet is in super nice shape. I cleaned it up all with simple green, cleaned the legs up with simple green. Original decals, no fade. They just look great. And new leg levelers, New leg bolts. We rebuilt our shooter rods with all new springs, so these are nice now. New lock. We're using the existing lock up here, but Translight looks really good with sunlight. It doesn't really blow anything out. It looks good. Red and Ted, they cleaned up well. You know, our target decals look awesome. The entire game just looks great. I might have to tweak this post here. It seems like the ball's getting stuck on that rubber, so I might have to try to knock that post over a little. We'll see. But aside from that, you know, Flying Rocks is working. Everything's working. So, and this thing looks great with LEDs. I think sunlight was the way to go. I might do sunlight from now on. It's brighter than I thought. I thought it was going to be more on the warm side than the cool side. And I try to do cool white in any games that have black or blue. I think cool white really brings it out. This game has a lot of green, yellow, and blue, so I thought about doing cool, but I said, no, let's do sunlight, see how it looks. And sunlight looks really good. I might start doing it in a lot of my games, but that wraps up this little two-part cleanup series. It's basically just when you find a game cheap, this is the basic stuff you got to do to it. I lucked out with this one. We had to do a little bit of board work. Actually, the connector for the GI on the coin door interface board, it's the 6.3 volts AC. It's a J119 in the back box. That was disconnected, so I wasn't getting this here, and I look around in the back box and find it's disconnected, so I had to deal with that. But for the most part, this was just a cleanup. You know, make sure everything's solid, change all of our bulbs, and just shop this thing out. And, you know, whoever I sell this to, I think they're going to be very happy with it, because this is one of the cleanest road shows that I have ever seen. And I've really only seen like 2 of them out in the wild. So it's not a game you really see that much. They made a decent amount of them. I just don't really see it that much. It seems like it's a game that ends up in collectors' homes and then kind of stays there. So, yeah, that about wraps up. Let me turn this down. It's super bright. That about wraps up the entire cleanup series on this. I'm probably going to put it on Pinside, maybe Facebook. I'll probably put it on, I usually put it on Pinside first for a few days, see if any of the collectors want it, and then if not, it goes on Facebook. But yeah, that wraps up this one. Thanks for watching, guys. You know, after this, it's back to track and field stuff, so we'll be doing that next week. I'll see you guys next week.